안녕하세요. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christopher Chung, and I represent the Missouri Partnership, which is the official investment promotion agency for the U.S. state of Missouri. First of all, I want to thank our host, Kita, for organizing this seminar today. It's an honor to be up here to tell you a little bit about our state and introduce you to some of the issues going on in Missouri's energy storage sector. The important thing to note is that if you're thinking about expanding in the United States, whatever your business or industry, you have heard or will hear from a lot of great states today. Georgia and Virginia before me, Missouri, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Oregon. These are all good states in which to expand. I think all United States are very pleased that the free trade agreement has finally been passed, and that will open the doors for increased economic opportunity for both Korea as well as the United States. So it's a real honor here to be here with you today. Sometimes it's difficult to talk about a state without using pictures. States are places where people are born, where they're raised, where they work, where they live. These are difficult things to just summarize with bullet points on a PowerPoint slide. Sometimes pictures are the best way to communicate that. So I want to show a little bit about some of Missouri in pictures, whether that's some of our beautiful natural landscape, whether that's baseball. If you're a fan of baseball, you'll know that the St. Louis Cardinals in Missouri are the most recent World Series champions, and we're very proud of that in Missouri. But that's a picture of where they play in St. Louis. These are some of the small downtown streets that you'll see in places like Missouri and many other states in the Midwest. Perfect. Great. Thank you. This is a picture of the University of Missouri, which is the major public university in the state, and it's actually home of one of the largest groups of Korean alumni students of any university in the United States. We're very proud of that cultural connection that we have between Missouri and Korea. It's always helpful in these kinds of presentations to show where exactly Missouri is. Missouri is actually one of 8 states in the U.S. that begins with the letter M. You have Michigan, Maryland, Maine, Mississippi, Montana. So sometimes even for people in the United States, they may not necessarily know where Missouri is located, let alone when we come overseas and try to explain that. So it's always good, I think, to start off with that explanation. As you can see, Missouri sits squarely in the center of the North American continent as well as within the United States. We're one of the largest states in terms of population, being the 18th largest in the country out of 50, as well as land size, where we're 21st largest out of the country. We also happen to be the population center of the U.S. If you were to balance the entire population of the U.S. geographically, Missouri would actually be where the center of that balance happens to be. Missouri has been the center of the U.S. population for many years now, and so again, it speaks to the centrality of our location. Here you can see how well connected Missouri is to many of the different markets around the United States. These are all important markets of customers and suppliers. Missouri offers excellent central access to all of those markets. Talking about some of the industry sectors, I'm here today to really speak about the energy storage and battery industry sector in Missouri. Like many of the states that you hear from today, we have a number of specialty industry sectors that we're very proud of, but today I really want to speak about energy storage and batteries because this is an industry sector in which Korean companies have shown increasing success, and so we believe that there is excellent potential for Korean companies to enter the U.S. market if they're in the energy storage or battery industries. So I look forward to telling you about Missouri in a moment. First, I thought it would be helpful to give a brief overview of the U.S. energy storage industry. The whole U.S. battery manufacturing sector is currently represented by approximately 125 companies who have a combined annual revenue of $8 billion. However, most of the industry is concentrated in the hands of just a few companies. The largest 8 companies represent 75% of the entire industry's revenue. The largest 50 companies of those 125 represent more than 95% of the industry's revenue. Some of the best-known names in the U.S. battery industry include Energizer, Duracell, Rayovac, Enersys, Exide, and Johnson Controls. Now I'd like to talk about some of the trends and issues that are driving growth in the U.S. battery and energy storage sector. You heard from the gentleman from Virginia about the increasing use of mobile computing devices. That's certainly one of the driving forces behind the need for newer and better battery technology and energy storage solutions. Whether that's tablet computers, smartphones, music players, phones, cameras, power tools, all of these electronic devices need batteries or energy storage devices to run. And so as a result, that shows increasing demand, not just in the US, but of course around the world for these kinds of products. Just to give you an idea of magnitude, in the US alone, approximately 3 billion dry cell batteries are consumed on an annual basis alone. And of course, we're very much in the early stage of how batteries will be needed as more and more devices become mobile. Of course, companies in the energy storage and battery industry are looking at higher performance, lighter weight, longer life, all at a lower cost, because their customers in the automotive, aerospace, and consumer electronics industries all demand these types of characteristics from batteries. Another issue that's affecting the U.S. battery industry is recycling legislation, as the national and state governments require that battery companies recycle products. That's actually helping to lower the production cost of batteries, because the materials in old batteries can be recycled for manufacturing, which limits the exposure that battery manufacturers have to volatile market prices for some of their raw materials like lead and zinc. Uninterruptible power supplies, UPS, these are large energy storage solutions typically used to help back up critical facilities like IT data centers. Of course, those types of operations cannot afford to have any kind of power disruption, so they need large energy storage devices that can serve as a backup. So UPS applications are also driving growth in the energy storage and battery industry. Transportation applications are also driving this as well. One key issue, of course, is the increase in demand for hybrid automotive and electric vehicles. As more and more customers shift towards those types of automobiles, that's driving demand for battery solutions as well. Another thing that we're seeing in the United States, thanks to the current policies of the federal government, are increased national subsidies and incentives for battery technology development. Those are coming in the forms of billions of dollars in grants, loans, and tax breaks from the U.S. government to help develop energy storage and advanced battery solutions. So to look at the industry forecast in the United States, the national overview shows that there will be steady growth for the U.S. battery industry, with battery manufacturing to increase at a rate of approximately 2% per year between 2011 and 2016. In 2011, for example, shipments of goods including electrical equipment, appliances, and components grew more than 5%. These are the kinds of products that utilize battery and energy storage devices, and so that 5% growth shows that there's going to continue to be healthy growth for battery and energy storage devices. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the state of Missouri and what we like to call the energy storage triangle. By value of shipments, Missouri is one of the 3 largest states in the battery industry in the U.S. North Carolina and Pennsylvania are the other 2, so consider that free advertising for some of my competitor states who are also speaking later today. But why is Missouri one of the leaders in the battery industry? One of the biggest reasons is because of natural resources. 70% of the U.S. supply of lead, which has long been one of the leading ingredients in batteries, 70% of that lead supply is actually located in southeastern Missouri. It's one of our richest natural resources, and one reason why Missouri has historically been a home to the battery manufacturing sector. So, as part of our diverse array of industry assets, we have this energy storage triangle. It's where you see a concentration of companies, universities, and research that are all focused on energy storage technology and applications. In other words, if you're a company that's in the battery industry or the energy storage industry, this is a location where you may want to look based on the unique advantages of being so close to that concentration of industry and university research. Customers, suppliers, partners, all of these mean that there are opportunities within this region that I'm about to describe for you. So first, I'll describe one of those companies in the energy storage triangle. That's Eagle Pitcher in Joplin, which is in southwest Missouri. They do a diverse array of specialty energy storage technologies, including storage systems for utility grids, batteries for missile systems, and aerospace backup power systems. They're also the only manufacturer of these specialized batteries that are used in satellites. And of course, all of these mobile devices and mobile technology are also increasingly going to rely on telecommunication satellites. The batteries that make those satellites fly in space are being made and designed right here in Missouri. Smith Electric Vehicles is another great success story. It's an electric vehicle company that's had a lot of success in the cargo van delivery industry. They make the all-electric Smith Newton cargo delivery truck, which is powered by lithium-ion batteries, one of those battery specialties that Korean companies have really been leading in. Moving elsewhere within the Kansas City region, we have a joint venture between Dow Chemical Company and Korean-based Kokam. Dow Kokam is the name of this joint venture, and they develop and manufacture advanced energy storage technologies for the transportation industry. Exergonics is a relatively new company, also right there in the Kansas City, Missouri region. They're headquartered there as well as do all their manufacturing, but they produce energy storage systems on a larger scale for the alternative power industry, so helping wind and solar power generators store that energy. That's the specialty that Exergonics is focused on. Enersys, I mentioned, is one of those leading companies in the U.S. battery industry, one of the best-known companies around the world. They make batteries that are used in telecommunications, uninterruptible power systems, and electrical control systems. Their facility in western Missouri is their largest in the world, and also very important to that company. Energizer is another one of those leading companies in the battery industry. Again, also one of the best-known names in the industry. They happen to be headquartered in St. Louis. So that's just a look at some of the companies that are within the energy storage triangle. So again, if you're a battery or energy storage company, by locating in this region, you have access to potential partnerships with some of the best well-known names in this industry. So let's look briefly at some of the research and applications also taking place in the energy storage industry. Right there in Kansas City, Missouri, on the western half of the state, our utility company, Kansas City Power and Light, is leading a smart grid demonstration project that's going to integrate renewable energy as well as battery storage solutions. At the Washington University in St. Louis, which is one of the best private universities in the United States, they're doing a lot of research and applications on energy storage solutions for environmentally sustainable economic development. So again, this is some groundbreaking research that's also looking at creative ways to incorporate energy solutions into a more environmentally friendly built environment. At the Missouri University of Science and Technology, just a little bit of the ways down from St. Louis, you have one of just 5 locations that's been designated by the U.S. National Science Foundation as a Freedom Center. These are universities, just only 5 of them in the country, that are working towards transforming the U.S. power grid into a distributed system, which will essentially be like an internet for energy. So again, one other potential there is the University of Missouri, or Missouri Southern State University in Joplin down in southwest Missouri. They're partnering with Eagle Pitcher Technology on something called the Missouri Center for Advanced Power Systems. This is a way to train workers and future employees to be more productive in the battery and energy storage industry. So again, just to summarize the energy storage triangle, these are just a few highlights of the assets within that region. These assets are what make a location in Missouri something worth considering if you are a company that's in either battery manufacturing or energy storage. Again, because of the potential to form partnerships, relationships with suppliers, customers, other business partners, as well as universities to focus on research. Let me focus a little bit just on general terms for Missouri before I conclude my presentation. Missouri exports, of course, more than $600 million in exports were sent from Missouri to Korea in 2011. These were primarily in transportation equipment like aircraft, chemicals, and food products. In fact, Korea is one of the top one of the top export partners for the state of Missouri. We very much value the economic relationship that we have with this country. We're very excited, of course, about helping Korean companies expand into the U.S. market because we believe that for certain sectors, we have a good advantage. Thank you very much. So these are some of the Missouri-based companies that have a presence in the Korean market, again, because Korea is one of those larger trading partners for the state. Let me skip ahead because I have just a few more minutes of time here. Again, transportation, that's one of the advantages that Missouri offers. The Mississippi River, the Missouri River, these are two major water shipping channels in the United States, probably the two most major within the U.S. These run along and through the state of Missouri, so that helps diversify transportation options. Interstate highways, of course, are also very robust in our state, as in many others. Airports, rail service as well. Missouri has the second and third largest rail hubs in the U.S. market. So again, depending on how you ship your product, Missouri has the transportation solution to help you move your products in the U.S. market. And some of the other issues to take note of, Missouri consistently scores well for things such as a low cost of doing business. We're third in the country for lowest business cost, low cost of energy, one of the best transportation systems, lowest costs of living, best corporate tax environment. So again, many of the things that companies will need when they decide that they want to expand to the U.S. market, Missouri can offer these to companies who believe that they need to have a location that benefits from low-cost, skilled workforce, central location, excellent transportation. So with that, I know that I'm coming up on my conclusion here, so I want to thank you again for the opportunity to address you all today. We're certainly happy to answer any questions afterwards and look forward to meeting with you. Again, thank you to Kita for organizing this excellent chance. Wherever you decide to go in the United States, when you expand there, as I said, all of these states are good locations. They all offer different advantages and strengths. We're glad that Missouri is one of those states that you've allowed to speak today. Thank you very much for your time and attention. 감사합니다.